on Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel-Pekudai, I believe, Shabbos Mevorchim, Nisan, Tavshin, Mem Hey, 5745, 1985. And the Rebbe speaks about the uniqueness of the last Shabbos of the month of Adar. We're going to skip down to where there's the three stars in the middle of the page by Oiskov Tes. Shabbos Zu, Shabbos ha'achroina shel the Chodesh Adar. It's the final Shabbos of the month of Adar. Therefore, one needs to explain the unique quality of the month of Adar in this year. Shana Zu, Shana Pshuta. This year, Tavshin Mem Hey, as it is also our year now, Tavshin Pei Vav, 41 years later, is a regular year, meaning only one Adar. The Loika Shana Shalafanav, Ashana Shalachara, not like the year of Tavshin Mem Dalid and the year of Tavshin Mem Vav, Sheshtehem Mubaris, that both the year previous to the Farbrengen and the year after the Farbrengen are double other years. The difference between an ordinary year and a leap year is concerning the month of Adar. So usually the Rebbe makes a big deal about a leap year and two others and so on. So here the Rebbe is going to make, as the Rebbe's style is always, that when he's speaking about a particular thing of that particular time, that's always the greatest thing. So the Rebbe is going to emphasize the great advantage of having a year that it's not two others, but a year where it's one other, and that's better even than a year of two others. So he says, V'lachein, therefore, third paragraph from the three stars, Kasher Kishem Shebishana Sha'avra Duber Baruch Oidis Hamayla the Shana Muberes Bekesher L'Chodesh Adar, just like in the previous year, was spoken about at length about this special quality of a leap year in connection to the month of Adar, Koilul, including the Rebbe spoke that year, the year prior to that. I need the Purim Katan of Purim Gadol, Sheyeshna B'Shan Moberes Dafke, the idea of the minor Purim and the regular Purim that's to be found specifically in a leap year. How they move on, so it's understood. You can't you can't treat any year differently than the other. When it comes to the month of Adar of this year, we have to explain the advantage of a non-leap year. What's so special about an Adar when it's not a leap year? Because in this year, the gate through which all matters of our service arises above, is a inyan the Shana Pshuta, is the idea of being a non-leap year. So since that is the means through which all our avoida is being transmitted, so therefore it's important to emphasize that. Therefore we have to explain and to emphasize the advantage of a regular year, a non-leap year. Like the Rebbe says, we've spoken about this many times, that when we explain such things, it shouldn't be like deep Kabbalistic ideas, but abir kazet tzarich liyismuvim l'chol echad me'echad mi'Yisrael. The explanation of this has to be understood to every single Jew. Gam lepashat shebepshutim, even the most ordinary of Jews, kidl kamon, as we will explain what it is. Lamed. So the Rebbe says, two lines in the bottom, Bagdama, by prefacing, Amr Chazal, the Chachamim taught, Kol Mashabara Kodesh Baruch Hu Ba'olamai, of all the things that Hashem created in this world, Lo bara davar echad levatola. He did not create anything that serves no purpose. He did not create anything for naught. The umahi tachlis habriya. What is the goal of the creation? Everything that Hashem created in His world, He only created it for His honor. Like the expression of the Braisa in the 6th section of Pirkei Avos called Kinyan Torah. And this is also understood concerning the months of the year. Every month is an idea of its own creation. Every month has its unique name. The name that month is called in Lashon Kodesh. Like we spoke about in the previous part, in the previous Farbrengen, it's earlier in the year, that the names of the months that we have are Torah names. They are associated with the holy tongue, the holy language of Lashon Kodesh. So therefore the name of the month is what brings into being and gives life and gives existence to the month. Like the Alter Rebbe says in Shaykh V'Amunah, that every single thing's name is the source of its life and vitality. And also the name indicates the meaning, the characteristic of that particular thing that's called by that name. So this seems to be Kabbalistic oriented. So the Rebbe says an ordinary person can understand this as well. Even an ordinary person that didn't study about what Alter Rebbe says in Shaykh V'Amunah, that the name that a thing is called is its vitality, etc., etc. He knows and understands simply everything is called in a unique name that is distinct from something else, and another item is called by a different name. And why is it called by this name that's distinct? Because there's something unique that's connected only to that item, and it's not in anything else. So he understands that the fact that one month is called by one name and a different month is called by another name, that's something unique, a unique connection that name has with the month. Since the creation of this month is not for naught, heaven forbid, but rather it's for the glory of Hashem. So we must say, in every single month, and in our topic, Chodesh Adar, the month of Adar, there is a unique divine service that's associated with this month, that's unique to the month of Adar. That's not to be found in other months of the year. Through the avodah that we fulfill, that's unique to that month, is fulfill the purpose of the creation of this month, which the creation of this month was for the honor of Hashem. So we have that, it's incumbent upon us to fulfill the special mission of that month. In other words, there are aspects of every month that have a common denominator with all other months of the year. There are certain mitzvahs you have to do every day, regardless of what month it's in. There are certain ideas that apply every day or every week. That's a common denominator. And then there are things that are unique to this particular month. Obviously, the month of Adar is unique to the idea of Simcha and Purim and so on. So he goes on, he says, in addition to this, what's the idea of the month of Adar, like I just now mentioned, like it says in the Megillah, it's the month that was transformed and turned over from mourning to joy, and from sadness to Yom Tov, meaning that it's, again, the Pasuk says, there's italicized over here the word HaChodesh in case you can't make it out. It's the entire month, meaning this is the theme of the month. You want to know what the month of Adar is about? Turning things around from bad to good. Turning things around from sadness to joy. Hainu, what does this mean? It's not just that the month of Adar is about nullifying untoward, unwanted, negative things, but rather the idea of the month, the entire month of Adar is about transforming and turning it around from one extreme to the other extreme, from a negative side to joy and a Yom Tov. This is self-understood. This is not accomplished only through a unique service from the Jewish people's perspective. In other words, since the month of Adar is unique in the fact that it's the month that was transformed and turned around from one extreme to another extreme, from sadness to joy. So therefore, there is an avodah that is corresponding to that elicits such a thing. Just like, again, the most ordinary Jew knows that the idea of reward is connected with a specific and particular service and activity. As it says in Chumash, if you will go in my laws, and I will give you its reigns and its times. As he remembers from when he was learning in Cheder or the Talmud Torah, when he wanted to get a candy from his teacher, he had to study diligently. So every person knows that the reward has to do with our work. The same thing, the reward of having a month that's transformed completely from sadness and negative to joy, it's based on our avodah. This even, like we said, even an ordinary person understands without explanation. Especially when we explain to this person. The Purim, that the general miracle of Purim, the month that was transformed, was a result of the service of the Yidden. Like it's explicit in the Megillah, that Esther told Mordechai, go gather all the Jewish people and fast on my behalf. And also I and my maidens will also fast. Mudgish Barucha Protis Yosef Medrash Chazal, it's emphasized at length and even more specifically in the teachings of Chazal. So we see that what brought about the transformation, what made the entire month a month that was transformed from negativity to joy, this was because of the avoid of the Yidden. So the same thing, we can understand that at present, we also have to do our avodah in a similar fashion. 4 lines from the bottom, calls them moving from all this is understood. That the month of Adar has its unique service. That's not to be found in the rest of the months of the year. That through that avodah is affected and comes about, that by doing this avodah it's affected that we should reach a level that is the month that was transformed to joy, etc. in Yom Tov. So it's not just we are saying that this month is joyous because once upon a time there was something sad going on and we transformed it to joy then, but it's an ongoing avodah, the Rebbe says. Every single Adar needs to be transformed from the negative to joy. And to do so, just like the original Adar, there had to be an avodah on our behalf, that we caused that transformation. So too, at present as well, we need to do our avodah to bring about that transformation from the negative to joy. This was all by way of introduction to say what is the specialness of a regular year where there's only one Adar over a year where there is two others, a leap year. Last line on the page, Alpiza movement pashtus. According to this, it's self-understood. The special, unique advantage and quality of a Adar in a regular year, in comparison to the month of Adar in a leap year. Bishnas, so the Rebbe explains, what's the difference? Bishnas ibur is the kukim lenuntas yomim. In a leap year, we need for the avodah of transformation from the negative to the positive, we need to work for 59 days. Why is it 59 days? Because when there's a leap year, the first Adar has 30 days, Lamed Yom the Adar Rishon. The first Adar will have 30 days, and the second Adar will have 29 days, B'chavtas Yom the Adar Sheni. 30 and 29 is 59. To be able to complete and fulfill the unique service of the month of Adar, we need 59 days of work. As opposed to a regular year, the Adar will always have 29 days, like this year as well. The entire service of the month of Adar takes only 29 days instead of 59 days. Look at, focus on this. We're talking about the month of Adar, that the mazel is a very strong and powerful mazel. It's a healthy mazel, as the Rebbe always brings down from the Gemara. Despite the fact that it's a very strong mazel, to be able to complete the service of this month in a leap year, it's necessary to work for 59 days. And after all the effort that we put in, there's no possibility to complete this avodah in less time than that. Because the great quality of this avodah needs all the focus for 59 days. From this understood the great advantage of an ordinary year where it's not leap year. We complete the entire avodah of the month of Adar. A great service that needs 59 days, we fulfill it over a short amount of time. Only 29 days. To such a degree that in every single day of a month of Adar, of a non-leap year, we are affecting at least double from what we would affect in the very same day in a leap year. So you pick any day out of a leap year, you're only accomplishing half as much as what you accomplish in a day in a regular year. We accomplish a full, double as much. And the Rebbe goes mathematically even more so. And the Rebbe says, why are we using the expression that we will accomplish at least double the amount? it's double, Here's 1 month and here's 2 months. Just no. In truth, every day of an ordinary year's Adar, we are affecting more than double of what we'd affect in a leap year Adar. Because the number of the days of the month of Adar in a leap year is more than twice as much than an ordinary year. Twice as much, 2 times 29 would be 58. But it's not that way in a leap year. It's not that in a leap year we have 58 days, which would be twice 29, but kiyim nun tes yoim. Rather, in a leap year, we have 59 days. That means that every day of the days of the month of Adar of a non-leap year, the base yamim, we are affecting and accomplishing the avoida of 2 days of a leap year, but more than 2 days. With an additional 1/29th of that extra day that we have in the leap year. Since that's the case, it's understood and it's obvious. In what manner there has to be the service of the month of Adar in an ordinary year. Since we know we have to do a double portion, a double measure. The Rebbe doesn't say, we can relax more. He says we got to do twice as much. So the Rebbe concludes in Lamed Beis U'Menegel L'Poyol concerning the actuality. Yesh l'natzos hayomim ha'achronim shenoisra adayim b'chodesh Adar. We have to use the last days that still remain in the month of Adar. Kedei lahashlim es kol inyonei avodas chodesh Adar l'shana pshuta, to complete all the concepts of the service of the month of Adar of an ordinary year. Therefore, chaptarain Yidden, grab what you can. Beloshna Yidua, like the well-known expression in Chazal, chatoif achol, chatoif v'shti. The Gemara says that our world is likened to a chasana hall, where you grab and you eat, and you grab and you drink. I guess they used to have like a self-serve type of table, not where the waiters came. That the Rebbe Rashab explained, what does this mean? What is this referring to? In this expression, grab and eat, grab and drink, it's hinted the manner of the service at the end of the time of exile. Do not wait until you could do the avodah in a normal fashion and say, I don't do that yet. First, let me take care of this, and then I'll do the other thing. No. When it comes to this time, Mashiach is almost here. We have to yesh lachtif in Yonah Torah mitzvah b'kol ha'baliyodeh. One has to grab matters of Torah mitzvahs, whatever comes to hand, whatever is available, grab hold of it, and don't say, well, I didn't do that yet, I didn't do this yet. And the Rebbe says, especially when you add in all activities of spreading Torah and Yiddishkeit, through the activities in matters of Mivtzoyim. First and foremost, when it comes to the Mivtza Purim. So you could ask, what type of Mivtza Purim? You're going to give people, you're going to read people the Megillah at the end of the month of Adar. So the Rebbe says, what do we see at the end at the Megillah? It says, La Yehudim Haisa Oira v'Simcha v'Sasim v'Kar. And the Chazal say, Oira zu Torah chulu. So that's part of the Miftzat film, to bring light to Yidden by teaching Torah and making people have more shiurim in Torah. And also it says, V'Kar, that the glory that the Yidden had, Eilut Tefillin is referring to the tefillin that's on the head that gives glory in front of the eyes of the goyim, like the Rebbe always speaks about, that the tefillin makes the goyim that they see it have the awe and fear of Hashem. So that's the mitzvah. That's the mitzvah Purim that can be done even after Purim is over. So too also concerning other matters of Mivtzoyim, Avos Yisrael, V'achdas Yisrael, loving another Jew and unity of Jews, Chinuch Atzmai v'Chinuch Hazulas, educating oneself and educating others, Torah, Tefillin, Mezuzah, Tzedakah, Bayis Molis Sfarim, a house filled with Sfarim, which the Rebbe connects with Yavne v'Chachamel, that Rabbi Yochanan asked that Yavne, the city of Yavne, and its sages should be spared by those that were attacking and destroying Yerushalayim. Hadlokas Ner Shabbos Kodesh, the idea of lighting Shabbos candles and Yom Tov candles, Kashrus Achil V'Shtiyah, make sure about kosher eating and drinking, Taras Mishpacha, family purity, V'Ois Be'echem Sifrei Torah Klalim, ensuring that every Jew has a letter in one of the Sifrei Torah, the general Sifrei Torah, so that we're joining all Yidden. Upashut, and the Rebbe says it's obvious. Shekol anal eino b'chinas Purim Torah. All of the above is not a Purim Torah. It was customary that in the days of old and even now, that on Purim, especially when one is under the influence of a little bit l'chaim, they would say Torah, things that sounded like Torah, but it was like more in the Purim spirit. It wasn't meant to be taken seriously. So the Rebbe says, what I'm saying now is serious. It's not Purim Torah. How come? Because Purim is over. And we're already found after the 14th and the 15th of Adar. And it says that it should not cross over. In other words, even though, if you remember, we had in other shiurim, we mentioned that there was a possibility under certain instances to read the Megillah as early as the 11th of Adar, and if possible, and Yerushalmi brings down that under certain circumstances, even from Reish Chodesh Adar. But the Chazal derive from the pasuk that it says that these things should not pass. That means you cannot pass. You could do it earlier, you could read the Megillah, but you can't do it past the dates of the 14th or 15th of Adar. So that's why the Rebbe says, I cannot be saying now Purim Torah because it's already past Yudalid and Tesvav Adar. And then the parentheses, the Rebbe says that in the Farbrengen of Purim, we also mentioned that even Purim Torah doesn't mean that it has no validity. Even a Purim Torah has validity. But that's a discussion from a different Farbrengen. Lamed Gimel, Vaidei Avoida, B'chol and Yonim Hamurim, and through doing the service and all the above mentioned matters, Zoichem Lemismach Legula Geula, we are meriting to what it says in the Gemara, that we bring close the redemption to redemption, Me'agula de Chodesh Adar, which is Gulas Purim, Legula de Chodesh Nisan, from the redemption of the month of Adar, which is the redemption of Purim. We're brought close to the redemption of the month of Nisan, that the month of Nisan will also be the time, not just it's marking the redemption that the Yidden went out of Mitzrayim, but then will also be the true and complete redemption through Mashiach, as we know what the Chazal say, that just b'Nisan nigalu, b'Nisan asin li'goyel, that in Nisan they were redeemed in the times of Mitzrayim, and in Nisan they will be redeemed when Mashiach comes. Uka'amr, like we said, mismach gula gula, that we bring close one gula to the other, ba'oifen shel smichus, in a way of closeness, take it from Yad Mamish immediately. In other words, we don't have to wait till Nisan. We're ready after Purim. Boom, bring the Geula in already. Kach, this is a Shabbos Farbrengen, Shekvar Motzoi Shabbos Kodesh, already when it comes after Shabbos, Nia Kolonu Barseinu Akdosh, all of us will be in the Holy Land, Yerushalayim in HaKodesh, in the Yerushalayim, the holy city, B'yachdim Kiyum HaYud, along with the fulfillment of what was foretold, Asidi Yerushalayim Tispashim Kol Eretz Yisrael, in the future, Yerushalayim will expand in the entire Eretz Yisrael, V'asida Eretz Yisrael Tispashim B'chol HaRotzes, in the future Eretz Yisrael will expand in all countries throughout the world. Much more so, that by the time the first day of Nisan comes around, it will already have occurred. Prior to that, the true and complete redemption through Mashiach, Pesach, and during the Yom Tov Pesach, we will already be eating on the Yom Tov Pesach from the sacrifices and from the Karban Pesach, from the Karban Chagiga, and so on. The Beis Hamikdash Shlishi, in the third Beis Hamikdash, that will be built speedily in our days, mamish.